Okay. So I'm hanging out with Ziggy and Karen Marley, Bob's children, and I want to go back to something that we were talking about off camera. When you've seen this documentary already, but each time you see it, is it emotional for you, or do you get used to seeing what you've seen?
No, for me, emotional. Very emotional for me, yeah. I kept crying all day, all night. So.
Yeah, it's always emotional, you know what I mean? No matter how much time you see it or whatever, but there's always a strong, it's your father. You know
yeah,
what I'm
right.
saying? Like, there's always emotional connection to it,
Were there elements in the documentary where you went, wow, I didn't know that about my dad. That's something that somebody said something in the documentary that surprised you.
I think that's the good thing about the documentary is we were educated about some stuff too, like some of the stories behind the music, his, Germany, yeah, his skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I got educated too, so.
Yeah, just same thing that Karen says. It's true, it's true.
But
Yeah.
Ziggy, you're in the documentary.
Yeah.
Were you apprehensive that Kevin was going to be the guy that was going to, I guess, tell this story about your dad?
No, I mean, we were involved in not only being in the documentary, but kind of looking at it and giving our take on it, and talking, going back and forth with Kevin on some stuff. But our philosophy is, what is to be must be. It's kind of like, this is, we before Kevin came on, we had done some other stuff with, other director. We had tried to work with Martin Scorsese before, but it didn't happen. And when I met Kevin and spoke about the documentary, I felt good with him, just as a person, really, as just talking to him and meeting him. I felt good and very comfortable and trusted him to do his best and do what he does, which is the directing part of the thing. And I'll just add in my little ideas or whatever, and everybody kind of share stuff. But ultimately, Kevin had the artistic freedom to do what he does,
Why do you think it took so long to put something so comprehensive and so well done and well spoken? It took this long to do? Or does it go back to your philosophy of what is to be must
well,
be?
it does. And I think for me, personally, I had reached a mature level now where I felt kind of a responsibility or a drive to be involved with something of my father, because I think a lot of things that has been done before has been done by others or people who didn't know or from a different perspective. But me being like his oldest son, there was something inside of me that was kind of telling me, I need to be involved with something about my father, more than just being in the film and being interviewed, but giving some direction, because I think there were things that I didn't like the fact that so much has been done about him and the people that knew him best weren't really represented, and I felt that I wasn't me being his son. I'm not saying anything about my father in a lot of these things,
Right.
So I felt an urge to do something and to be involved with something and to have the family be unified in a project about Bob that all of us can be proud of,
I thought it was very brave, for you and the family to be in it and to be able to speak so openly. That was very emotional, for me as an audience member. It was, and to see cousins and relatives come in and have these different conversations, especially the white side, very interesting to see the one cousin.
Yeah, it's very interesting to us too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, when's the last time you actually had a conversation with some of those folks? ever or
No,
once?
not about. I mean, I met them long time ago.
Yeah. They lived next door to us
Yeah,
for
at
a little
one
bit.
point.
And, yeah.
Oh wow.
The one
But-
that was on, yeah.
But never really had any conversations about the history and
Yeah.
And what they knew.
yeah, and our grandfather from Bob's father, cause we
Yeah.
none
Right,
of us,
right.
yeah,
Yeah.
we don't know him, so as we learn a lot, from the film, there's a lot of education there for us and for our children and
Yeah.
future generations of Marley. This film will be very, very important for
The
us.
family tree grew a little.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know you were both young when your father passed away, but were you aware of how many people he touched in his influence around the world?
For me, I was really young. I was 8. But, after, I think that's when I really realized his influence and how everyone is influenced by him and loved him.
Mm.
I think that's when I started to get to know as I was getting older. Everywhere I go, I would hear a song, I'd be like, whoa, So that's for me.
Yeah, I was going to say, do you think that it was also his message about living in peace and living as one, and his message about love, and the fact that we were coming out of the Vietnam War, and you had a lot of people that were opposed to it, and here's this force coming into the United States that's talking about being together and no violence and that kind of thing.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Yeah.
I think, I always hear that, but I think there was a lot more to Bob than just peace and love and stuff like that. It was human rights.
Yeah.
A song like War, which
Yeah.
speaks about racism and things like that.
Yeah.
So it connects because Bob was speaking the truth. This wasn't just an entertainer coming to entertain you. He was somebody who was speaking the truth to you about what was going on in the world and a lot of things that he had experienced in Jamaica. A song like Curfew, about being in a curfew. I don't know who else sings about that. I don't know who else sings about being in a police curfew. And I had to throw away your little herb stock. And who sings about that stuff? It was the real deal. You know what I'm saying? But I think the thing that resonates more is the idea of love and peace.
Right.
Those things stand out more. But there was these other things that meant a lot to him too.
Do you think if he were still alive, do you think that he would ever go into a leadership type of role? And I think that only because, could he have been the Prime Minister of Jamaica because he had such an influence and people seem to look up to him? I'm just curious if he would do something like that, or he'd still be out there.
Not sure if he would do that, but I mean, there was always that fear within the Jamaican society at the time that Bob was becoming too influential.
Mm.
That is why that whole assassination during that turmoil,
Yeah.
and that is why even the CIA, was kind of keeping an eye on him because he was very influential. And during that period in Jamaica, there was a fear that Jamaica would go communist to the Russian side of things, while Cuba was there. There was a lot of political undertones happening during that time. And so, but I don't think he would have been a leader in terms of political, but a leader in terms of influence.
Yeah.
Because if the people that he influenced had become in power, he didn't need to be the leader. He just needed to be the one that influenced the leader.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
The one behind the scenes,
You know what? That's the way it should be. That's the way it should be.
So,
Well,